Money, money, money. My great friend, this right here, this is what most people spend their entire life chasing. Working weekends, burning their 20s, sacrificing their sleep, health, family for this little thing. But if you were born into wealth, it's just paper, a background character in your life story. And the truly wealthy, they don't worship money, but they don't disrespect it either. In his book, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel says something most of finance gurus never do. Money has nothing to do with intelligence. It's all behavior, fear, ego, risk, luck. That's what builds or breaks a fortune. So today, my great friend, I'm not gonna give you 20 tips. I'm gonna show you how people actually live this through real stories, real decisions, real mistakes. And if you're patient enough to stay until the end, you won't just understand money from your perspective. You'll start seeing it through everyone else's eyes. So now, let's go back to the moment when JFK, rich, young, confident, was asked about the Great Depression. And what he said tells us everything we need to know about how money wraps our worldview. My great friend, have you ever heard a presidential candidate talk and instantly realize, oh, this guy never struggled a day in his life? Let me take you back. October 1960. JFK is 43 years old. He's running for president. Slick hair, movie star face, a Harvard degree, and $1 billion daddy. He's America's blue blood golden boy. So in that time, a reporter asked him, Mr. Kennedy, what did you learn from the Great Depression? And JFK, God bless him, goes, it didn't affect my family too much. We had jobs, we had a house, we had food. That was the whole answer, my great friend. No mention of the 15 million unemployed, no reflection, no emotion, just we were chill. My great friend, let me explain something. JFK was born in 1917, right before the 1918 Spanish flu. Then came the roaring 20s. But by 1929, boom, a stock market crash. People jumping out of windows, banks evaporating, red lines. And JFK riding horses at his dad's mansion, playing with $10,000 investment funds in the middle of a global economic meltdown. My great friend, $10,000 in 1933, that's like someone giving their teenage son 200 grand while the rest of the country is boiling shoes for soup. So of course the depression didn't affect him. How could it? My guy's dad, Joseph Kennedy, while people were selling off stocks in a panic, Joe was buying them dirt cheap. Real estate, steel, insider tips before they were illegal. This wasn't survival. This was advantage on steroids. But here is the part I love. That answer, it didn't affect us. The little nugget of ultra-rich blindness, it actually caused backlash. Voters hated it. They were like, who's this rich kid telling us about hard times? For a moment, it actually hurts his campaign. And I know what you're thinking. But Sam, if he blew it that hard, how the hell did he still win? My great friend, now you're paying attention. The answer? 2 words. World War II. JFK was a war hero. PT 109. Boat got destroyed. Crew stranded. He dragged an injured sailor with his teeth for miles. Literally carried him through shark-infested waters. And also, money. Don't let anyone fool you. JFK's family had enough money to rewrite entire narratives. They ran media, funded campaigns, moved hearts and headlines. My great friend, when you're rich enough, even your mistakes comes with a PR team. That moment, that interview, it said everything. Not about JFK the man, but about how money shapes memory. What you've lived becomes your truth. What you haven't becomes a theory. My great friend, let me tell you how ridiculous this world can be. In 1968, there were nearly 200,000 public and private high schools in the US. Out of these, only one had a computer terminal that students could actually use. Not for show, not for teachers, a real functioning terminal hooked up to a mainframe, just sitting there, waiting to be hacked. And that school was called Lakeside, an elite private school in Seattle. Gates went there, Paul Allen went there, and yeah, 10th Evans went there too. Now, hold on, before you say it. Wait, Sam, you mean to tell me Microsoft started because of a school terminal? Yes, my great friend. And I'm not the one saying it. Bill Gates himself said it. If there was no Lakeside, there would be no Microsoft. That's not a metaphor. That's the guy who built the damn empire. Straight up telling you, right place, right time. So let's zoom out for a second. My great friend. You have a 13-year-old kid in 1968 living in Seattle. Family rich enough to put him in a $20,000 a year private school. That's about $170K today, by the way. And that school just happens to get a donation from the local PTA, enough to lease a teletype terminal from GE. My great friend, you knew what most kids in America were doing in 1968? Watching I Love Lucy, eating TV dinners, and maybe seeing a calculator once a month in a math class. Meanwhile, Bill writing his first code at 13 in a system no one else even had access to. But here's where it really gets unfair. Lakeside didn't just have the computer, they had a Computer Center Corporation account. Basically, a loophole that gave Gates and his friends a limited access, as long as they don't abuse it. Spoiler alert, they abused the hell out of it. Gates, Allen, and the boys hacked the system, figured out how to get more hours, then got banned, then got hired by the same company to help find bugs in the system. These guys were writing commercial software, while most kids were still learning cursive. Now here's where Kent Evans comes in. He was part of that group too. Gates called him one of the smartest people he knew. He even said they were gonna start a company together, just like he did with Paul Allen. But before that ever happened, Kent dies. Hiking accident, age 17, gone. So my great friend, now you have two things happening at once. One kid dies, one kid lives. One becomes a ghost, and the other becomes Bill Gates. So, is that fair? Absolutely not. But that's not the point. The point is, of the few people in history lucky enough to get to that school and get access to that machine and to be surrounded by people like Paul Allen and Kent Evans, only one of them built Microsoft. And I know, but Sam, are you saying Gates was just lucky? No, my great friend. Luck got him to the start line, but he still ran the damn race. Other kids at Lakeside had the same computer, same access, same summer coding gigs. Most of them didn't invent anything. They typed a few lines, got bored, went into law, real estate. Some probably live in Seattle. Gates stayed up all night, skipped classes, took buses across town to find more mainframes, hustled IBM at 19. That's not luck. That's obsession. But imagine this, my great friend. Imagine Bill was born 5 years earlier. That terminal wouldn't exist. No computer, no coding, no Microsoft. Just another rich Harvard dropout trying to figure it out. Or even imagine he went to a public school, even a great one, but still no terminal, still no exposure, still no Paul Allen. He could have been smart, maybe even successful, but the whole change the world part gone. So yeah, Gates was lucky to be at Lakeside. But that luck was like handing someone a map to buried treasure. Most people don't even look at the map. Gates dug until his fingers bled. That's the thing about success stories, my great friend. They always zoom on the person and never the environment. But every environment leaves fingerprints. And if you're not careful, you'll start worshipping the player without ever seeing the field. My great friend, so far we've seen some people were born into wealth and how others got rich by catching the perfect wave at the perfect time, like Bill Gates. But now I want to show you something a little different. Two men, both legends, both absurdly rich, but only one of them still is. Let's start with Mike Tyson. The man was a monster. At 20 years old, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. He wasn't just winning, he was devouring his opponents. Knockouts, fame, the world at his feet. My great friend, at his peak, Tyson was earning $30 million per fight. His net worth hit $400 million. That's rapper money, Saudi prince money, private tiger in your mansion money, which by the way he literally had. But then it disappeared. The mansions, the Bentleys, the entourage, the jewelry, the lawsuits. By 2003, Tyson was bankrupt. Gone. And before you say it, come on, Sam. That's just what happens with athletes. No, my great friend. That's what happens when you get everything before you learn how to keep it. Fast money hits harder than any opponent, especially when you never learned how to say no. Now, let me show you the other guy. Warren Buffett. Doesn't fight, doesn't flex, still lives in the same Omaha house he bought in 1958. You know what Warren Buffett did at age 20? Read financial reports, ate McDonald's, and probably memorize the price of Coca-Cola stock. But here's the twist. Warren Buffett made 99% of his net worth over the age of 50. But Sam, I don't want to get rich by 50. I hear you, my great friend. Nobody does. You think Buffett wanted to wait 30 years just to see his name on Forbes? But here's the thing, he wasn't broke before that. He became a millionaire by 32, and he just kept going. 1 million became 10 millions. $10 million became $100 million. And by his 60s and 70s, the thing had taken on a life of its own. Today's Buffett's net worth is over $130 billion. But if he retired at 60 like a normal person, he'd barely crack a fraction of that. That's the power of compounding, my great friend. Money that earns money, which then earns more money, which then stacks until it becomes a freaking avalanche. But here's the part most people miss. Everyone wants Buffett's money, but no one wants Buffett's timeline. They want it now. They want it from crypto, from dropshipping, from that one big break. They want fast dopamine and quick ROI. And that's why they get stuck, chasing speed instead of momentum. But you, my great friend, you've been watching this video for over 10 minutes now. You're still here, which means you already get it, even if you didn't know you did. That patience you're using to sit through this, that's the same patience that makes wealth. Not get rich by 30 nonsense, but get rich and stay rich energy. Mike Tyson got rich faster. Warren Buffett stayed rich longer. Tyson was a legend, Buffett is a machine. And the difference between a machine and a legend, one crashes, the other compounds. My great friend, you ever wonder why it's never enough? Like you get a raise and suddenly you need a better apartment. You finally save some money and suddenly your car feels old. You hit a goal and instead of celebrating, you open Instagram and go, damn, he's already there. That's not by accident. That's envy. The most invisible trap in the money game. In his book, Morgan Housel tells a story that sounds fake, but it's not. Imagine this, a hedge fund manager making tens of millions of dollars a year goes to jail because he tried to game the system for more. Not to survive, not to feed his kids, just to be richer than the other rich guy. The guy's name was Raj Rajar. Insider trading, billion-dollar hedge fund. Got caught. Thrown in prison for 11 years. But here's the part that'll break your brain. The man was already worth $1.3 billion before he got caught. $1.3 billion and still said, you know what, I need more. My great friend, what kind of hunger is that? And it's not just him. Let me show you something even dumber. In 2007, Warren Buffett, yeah, we're back to him, gave a speech about the richest 400 Americans. At the time to make that list, you needed at least $2 billion. You know what Buffett said? To be on that list, you don't need to be very smart. You just need to be smart enough to hire someone smarter than you and extremely lucky. But then he laughed and added, still there's a guy who's number 212 on that list. And he's devastated he's not number 211. That's how deep this sickness goes. You could have everything and still lose sleep over someone having more. That's what comparison does. It burns your clarity. It rewrites your goals. You start the race thinking you just want 100k, and then suddenly someone else makes 200k, and now you're a failure. My friend, let me ask you something real. If no one else could see your life, no Instagram, no LinkedIn, no flexing, no likes, would you still want the same things? Or are you building your dreams just to impress people you'll never meet, who don't even like themselves? And the irony, you might already have enough, but the comparison makes it feel empty, like drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. That's why the richest people often look tired. They're not chasing money anymore. They're chasing shadows. But my great friend, you're still here, still watching this thing, which means you've already slowed down long enough to notice. And that's rare. But my great friend, let's get deeper and ask you this. What's money actually for? Not what you'd say on a podcast, not what you post on your story. I mean, when it's 2 a.m., bills are paid, and you're lying there thinking about life. What is it for? Most people never figure it out, so they copy what other people chase. Someone buys a house, now they want a house. Someone drives a G-Wagon, now they feel behind. Someone flips a crypto into a Lamborghini, and suddenly you're like, maybe I'm the idiot. You're not the idiot, my great friend. You're just surrounded by noise. Morgan tells a story about a man named Jack Whitaker. He won $350 million in the lottery in 2002. Became instantly famous, instantly rich. But within 4 years, his wife left him. His granddaughter died from an overdose. His own house was robbed twice. And he told reporters, I wish I would have turned that ticket up. This man won the dream, and it ruined him. Because money without clarity becomes gasoline for chaos. Housel says the highest form of wealth is not income, not net worth, not even passive income. It's being able to wake up and do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want. Freedom of time. That's it. Think about it. There are people making 40k a year, who live slow, who takes walks, who eat dinner with family, who sleep well. And there are people who are making 400k a year, who are burnt out, divorced, commuting 2 hours, and haven't seen a sunset in 6 months. So again, what's money for? For me, it's for peace. Not Ferraris, not status, not flexing in front of people I don't like. It's for not having to explain myself, for not needing to impress anyone, for choosing my own life without waiting for permission. And the funny part, my great friend, you don't need $10 million to get there. Sometimes you just need less noise, less comparing, less chasing, and a little bit of patience, which if you've watched this far, you clearly have, my great friend. So next time you're chasing a number, just remember this. Money is just a tool, and peace, that's the real flex. That's all for today, my great friend. And if you want to give me some peace, like the video, drop a comment, watch one of the other episodes, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Peace.